Okay, hey guys, welcome to the Dream Team Monday Night Zoom. We have a lot to talk about tonight. First, we're going to do a little celebrating because I tried really hard to stay up till midnight last night. I promise I tried, but I passed out around 10 because if you guys know me, that's already past my bedtime anyway. So when I woke up to $55,000 in volume under this team, basically on the 5th of the month, like we did that in 5 days. That is like unbelievable. Unbelievable. And yesterday was like ridiculous, but in the best possible way. Like the phones were just, ding, ping, ding, ping, ding all day. And it was so much fun. It was so good. So I hope that you guys had fun with the promo. I said it last night in the power planning. I know it's a hard promo because there's the tag teaming and you got to make sure the people are together. And you got some people who don't have anybody, but that's the whole reason because then they have to add somebody and yada, yada, yada. But the best thing to remember about some of those trickier promos, especially that one that they did the last 2 days, because they did not allow people to use credits on those orders, you are getting paid full commission. Nothing like ate away at your bonus volume to take away from your commission. So I know you had to work hard for it. I promise you, I know it was a tough one. But you guys should have some pretty amazing paychecks tomorrow to show for it. So we shall all celebrate tomorrow at noon Central, 1 here, and whatever time it is that you guys get your paychecks wherever you are. So before we get into our weekly topic, I want to make sure you guys all know that tomorrow night there is a State of LaBelle call where Paul and Jason want to chit chat about the growth. And I think that the growth is something that we are all seeing and feeling, and it has honestly kicked in ever since mid-March when the whole COVID-19 thing got heightened. People are finally starting to pay attention to the fact that health is important. And you guys are in the right place at the right time, and you have the best product to be armed with, I guess would be my words. So that whole State of LaBelle call, those calls are open to everybody and anybody. So if you have somebody who has asked you about the business, or asked you about the product, or maybe made a mention about maybe wanting to promote, but they're not really sure, I can guarantee you that tomorrow, Paul and Jason will talk very openly about how much we've sold recently. They won't hold back about how great the company is doing. I mean, it's called State of LaBelle for a reason. They're going to tell you what's going on with the company. So I always feel like those are good calls to put potential promoters on with, because they'll get a snippet of the company atmosphere with Paul and Jason bantering. They'll get to hear Jason talk about cars, because we all know he always somehow turns it into a conversation about a car. And then I get excited because, sometimes at the end of those calls, they like to throw something out to us. So who knows? Maybe they'll throw something out tomorrow night that we don't even know about. I don't know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And then the last thing I want to make sure that you guys know about before we head into this topic is Wednesday. So Tuesday we have State of LaBelle. Wednesday, you're going to hear from Jason again, because he's going to be on a training Zoom with Courtney Glaser. And I spoke about this last night, but just in case you guys weren't on there, Courtney is not for everyone, but I freaking love her. So she does use some language that sometimes might shock people. Here's the thing. I don't know if she will, because this is a company-wide and she'll be on there with Jason. I don't know. She'll probably try hard not to. But if you want to see a person who has taken their business from $200K to over $1 million in 1 year, that's who's talking Wednesday night. So that is who I would get that on your schedule. I would do whatever you have to do to be on that Zoom. Somebody asked last night if it was going to be recorded. I don't know. That's not up to me to do. It's what the company does. So I really don't know. Hopefully, because I've watched a lot of stuff with Courtney, and she just drops these like one-liners and these, I don't know, these, and I need to like go back and listen to them sometimes because I can't get it all. So hopefully it'll be recorded, but I can't guarantee it. So Tuesday night, State of LaBelle, Wednesday night, leadership training or whatever. They were summer series, something like that. They gave it a name. All right. So I think that brings us up to speed, right? Okay. So I want to talk tonight a little bit about just getting out of your own way. And it's kind of weird to have this conversation because obviously we just did as a team $55,000 in 5 days. But I know for a fact there are some people, and they're probably not on here, but there are some people who are still getting in their own way. So if you are not one of those people, that's okay. It doesn't mean that this isn't for you. This is still for you because you are going to have people in your downline who need these conversations. And so sometimes it's just good to be armed with a little bit of something, right? I am also just going to talk to you guys like the leaders that you are. Oh, hang on. Sandra has a chat. Had a thought about customers that ordered on the weekend promo. And don't let me forget. Okay. I'm going to talk to you like the leaders that you are. That's the deal I made a long time ago with these Monday night Zooms. So I know a lot of times when you do self-development, you'll hear people talk about limiting beliefs and affirmations and all these things. I am just going to strip the fancy names off of limiting beliefs, and I'm going to call it what it is. So are you ready for what limiting beliefs are? They're bullshit excuses. That's exactly what a limiting belief is. It is you wrapping your mind around some bullshit excuse that you either were taught a long time ago or that you have learned willingly. Hashtag bullshit excuse. That's our new hashtag. I love it. So let me dive into that a little deeper so that you guys can really start thinking about some of this. So it doesn't just, I don't just say these things to say them. Like, it is legitimate. Case in point, as a child, I grew up with grandparents who owned a business, a very successful business. It is still very successful to this day. And I was always taught that it was impolite to brag about money or to brag about nice clothes or brag about nice cars, to remain modest, to remain humble. And there is some value in that. I mean, obviously you don't want some bratty kid walking around like talking about Cadillacs or whatever before they even know how to spell it. But there's always a little part of me that's like, I shouldn't brag about how great we're doing. Like when I make posts about how great we're doing, they're like there and they come out of me. And then I always pause before I hit that button. And that's a bullshit excuse. That is something that I learned a long time ago, not to brag. But here's my thing. I'm not bragging about me. I'm bragging about you guys. I didn't do those numbers. This whole team did those numbers. So for me, it's a little easier to brag about you. But so that's one example of what somebody would technically call a limiting belief. But in all reality, it's just an excuse. It's just it's this deep-seated excuse that I've lived with or grown up with. And so I want you to think about the times that you have thought about making a Facebook post, or you've thought about doing a live, or you've thought about sharing something on your story and you've stopped. So think about that right now. Like, I'm sure you can all come up with something where you were like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this. And then you're like, I don't know. Right? Can you all think of a time where you've done that? Now I want you to think why. It's very easy to say, I didn't want to make the post because I don't know what people are going to think about me. Okay, that's surface level. What are you afraid they're going to think about you? I was raised not to be conceited and braggalicious. So I always have that in the back of my mind. I don't want people to think I'm bragging and being conceited. So what is it that's in the back of your mind that's stopping you? Is there something stopping you? So this is the hard part. This is the unfun part that you need to think about. Because I can guarantee if there's something stopping you from doing something as simple as a Facebook post or a Facebook Live, it's stopping you from something else, something important like reach outs, follow-ups, like the big things that make your business go around, team building, being open and honest about who you are or what you believe in, like whatever it is, something is stopping you. And so I can't answer those questions for you. I wish I could look at all of you and be like, XYZ, here's your problem, move on. I mean, hell, if I could do that, I would have fixed myself a long time ago. But I just want you to be aware, because the more I'm aware of what holds me back, the more I can recognize it in the moment and be like, okay, that's a feeling I recognize, but I also know that's just a bullshit excuse. And then I can do what I'm supposed to do. Okay? So you guys make me laugh. Oh, wait, Laura says this may be hard to believe, but I don't like the extra attention. So yes, I know that about you. You don't like getting shout outs. You don't like when your team, I know you don't want to be centered. Laura Wernsman will be the first ever 200K who probably does not want to go on stage. Like, she will be like, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm just going to sit down here in my chair. So whatever that is, whatever you learned at some point in time in your life, and here's the thing, I don't want you guys to think you need to have a completely different personality. You don't. Like Laura is just very humble and quiet, and she's okay with that, and that's okay. But if that is stopping her from bragging about her team or bragging about her business or making noise about how great something in her life is, then that's holding her back from reaching out to more people, right? So when the time comes and it's time for her to be 200K, if she doesn't want to stand on stage, she doesn't have to. But from now until then, she needs to make sure that that's not stopping her from doing her reach outs. Danielle says, same. I don't like anyone paying attention to me. I close up, but I love getting a shout out. I'm a contradiction. Sam says, Laura, we all know how amazing you are, girl. It's true. We do all know. And I have a big respect for humility in people, but I also know that there is a time to separate yourself from who you are as a person and the business that you're running. Does that make sense? And I know that's tricky because you are self-employed, and the beauty of being self-employed is that you do you, but it's very important to remember that you can have a private life. I mean, you guys, I don't think you would ever go on my Facebook and truly know what's happening in my life. I really don't think that you would. I think that you would see posts about Thrive, something about motivation. You might see some stuff in my yard or my dogs or whatever, my nephews, but I don't think you're going to truly know, because my personal life is just that. And I use social media for my business because it pays well. If I were to put everything about my life on social media, I don't know that I would be attracting as many people to myself, because everyone has shit that they deal with. And maybe this is a bullshit excuse. I don't know. I just keep my Facebook on the up and up. I keep it on the happy-go-lucky. I keep it on the, hey, let's make some money together. Hey, let's feel better together. Let's grow. And that's just what I keep it at, because I keep who I am as a person and the business I'm running separate. So anyway, these are just some things. So yeah, so back to Danielle. So you are a contradiction that you like a shout out. Now I think I see you like a shout out within our teams. I don't know if you're comfortable with the shout outs with the rest of the world. Maybe that's where the line is drawn for you. And again, I that's a tricky one. So I know for a fact that you would shout out and praise people on your team for doing well. And so you understand why we do shout outs, because we want to praise people that have done well. So maybe just start realizing that when you do get that shout out, or that people are paying attention to you because of your business, it's not really about you, it's about your business. Does that help? And like when people say to me, like people will be like, oh my gosh, how many people are on your team? Like, oh, they get, they want all the details. And I'm like, well, I don't know, because it is my team. It's not my, like they act like it's, how do I want to say this? Okay, I get it. So when they say things like, how many people are on your team? They act like I went out and got every last one of you. Hell, I don't even know half of you. Like, it's growing so fast, I'm getting names confused. We're going to have to start going by first name and last initial around here. So I just, to me, that's such a compliment that they want to know how many people, but I immediately know that's not about me. That's about my business. And I can separate myself from those two. Sam says, I used to be that way. However, the more publicly successful my team is, the more we grow. People want to be a part. Absolutely. And that's my point. I'm uncomfortable with bragging, but I want to brag because I want people who want success to be attracted to us. I want to tell people how great people are doing on my team, because there is a little part in every single person that wants to be successful. They may not tell you, they may not willingly show that, but every single person wants. I really, truly, honestly think we all do the best we can with what we have, and that we are all trying to do the best we can with what we have. And that I don't really know anybody that wakes up and says, what can I do today to make my life worse? I mean, there might be some people out there, and hopefully they're getting the help that they need. But of all you guys, I feel like you get up every day and you think, how can I grow my business? How can I get my bills paid off? How can I make my life less stressful with debt, or with working, 3 jobs when maybe I could work 1, like whatever it is, I know that you want what's best. So talk about that. Talk about the success that you're having. And please don't compare your success to anybody else's. Like, I know there are some people who are new around here and they see some of the leaders on this team and they're like, oh, wow, Listen, they didn't start there. And as a matter of fact, on July 1, we all start back at brand promoter. There's not a single person on this team that is guaranteed any rank, any commission, nothing. That is actually what I love about this particular business. Nobody can just sit and rake it in, right? If you want to really make money with this company, you got to hustle, you got to work, you got to have goals, you got to set them. And so don't compare don't think that giving yourself, like, so where's Edie was on here a minute ago. I saw her little face and it's jumping around. Anyway, there she is. Edie did a little shout out the other day. I don't know if you did it publicly or just in the team pages. But first of all, it was a super cute picture that she picked out of herself. And secondly, she was like, hey, guess what? I'm shouting myself out because I got a customer. That is okay. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm not driving a car. Or, oh, I didn't earn a trip. Or, oh, I'm not 200K, so I can't brag. That's bullcrap. That's a bullshit excuse. Hashtag bullshit excuse. Here we are again. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate your team. Celebrate the little wins. Not only publicly for the business realm, but do it for yourself. I can guarantee there's not a single person on this team that would not willingly shout out somebody else for anything. I mean, if we started shouting out people for just all the things we want to shout out, our Dream Team's page would just be crazy. Like, oh my God, Sonia got a new account today. Oh my God, Sonia read a book today. Like, we would literally be like so excited for everybody. So it's okay to be excited for you. Sonia says, I always feel like I'm not interesting enough on the daily. So lack of confidence for me. My trip gave me things to share and it kept people watching. Interesting. Okay, and I think this has a lot to do with just social media in general, because I think that there's so much, it's, for me, it's like squirrel. It's like, bing, she went on a trip. Bing, he got a car. Bing, they just had a baby. Bing, they're getting married. And so you feel like you've always got to do stuff. I can tell you I have literally the most boring Instagram stories and Facebook stories. Sometimes it's me sitting in the car just telling you I didn't get enough sleep because the dog woke me up last night. Sometimes it's me telling you I am sweating in parts that people shouldn't sweat in because it's whatever. Like, I just have the most boring stories. But since I started sharing the boring parts of my life, I've had so many more people communicating with me. Because here's the thing, if you're the girl who only ever goes on trips and does fabulous things and has this super amazing, interesting life, you're going to intimidate people to where they don't think they can communicate with you because they don't think they're like you. Right? Like, and I think that's the struggle too with Facebook, because I'm telling you, I want you to brag about the success in your business, but keep it real. Like, when I made the post this morning about this team, I flat out said it was this team. Like, I didn't say, hey, my poop doesn't stink and we got this big giant number. Like, I kept it real. It's about who it's really about. And when I give you guys a shout out, I keep it real. So I think it's important to celebrate yourself and celebrate your business success, but don't try to be flashy. Like, I don't know. Like, there are days where I'll do like a horrible, like, case in point, I shared a quote last night that I love. And it's one of those smacks you in the face. It says, you're going to piss off a lot of people when you do what's best for you, but do it anyway. Well, the downfall is I always feel like, and I do know that on social media, you get a better response if you have a picture of your face. That's just like a proven thing. People are drawn to pictures of people's faces. But I feel like if you have a nice picture, you get more comments about pretty picture, great hair, whatever, you know. Whereas if I had just done like some weird photo, like not really good, maybe even slightly blurry, they totally would have read the quote more and they would have connected to it more. So just think about like that. You don't have to be interesting. Okay, ground zero. We are all interesting because we're breathing. That's it. Like, and some of this may be above and beyond what people want to hear from me, but none of us are mistakes. None of us are put here by mistake. We're all meant to be here for a reason. And so the sheer fact you get up in the morning and you are breathing, you're interesting. So that's probably like that's what I would tell my child. Like, oh my God, honey, you sneezed. You're adorable, right? So someone thinks that about you. You just maybe don't know it. Sam says, Sonia, your vibe to me is so sweet. So when you post success, I feel so happy. Yes, it doesn't feel like bragging to me. It feels genuine. Yes. And that's the thing. So she just said, Sonia, your vibe. Every single one of us has a personality. It's very important that you make sure that personality is what's coming through in your marketing. And when I say marketing, that's not a dirty word. marketing is what you do as a promoter. You are trying to attract people to you so they can ask you what the heck it is that you use to have so much energy, to have great skin, to, whatever. Like, that's what you're doing. You're marketing. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever it is that you choose to use, make sure that your marketing represents who you are. So some of you may or may not know this about me, but for years, I wouldn't say any dirty words on Facebook. I wouldn't. I don't know, like if I was afraid my mom was watching, I don't know. But I finally just decided that if you ever had like a conversation with me one-on-one, I am the daughter of a truck driver and I have to fight some of the words that come out of my mouth. So it's not that I'm like being like trash talk or anything, but I'm just not covering up who I really am anymore, right? Very rarely will you hear me say the word shoot or darn. So why would I put that in a Facebook post? Why would I put that in an Instagram story? So be who you are. Right? Like that's all I'm getting. Just be who you are. You don't have to hide who you are. Here's the great thing about Facebook. If somebody doesn't like you, they can unfollow you. But here's the best part about Facebook. Usually when people don't like you, they follow you. They stalk you. They love to make comments. And I love when people make comments because I will just shoot it right back at them. And honestly, comments, good, bad, or ugly, make your post get more attention on Facebook. So roll with it. Okay, so anyway, we need to go back to the excuses. So I want you to think really long and hard about what it is that stops you from doing what you know you need to do. And here's the trick, kind of like my red flag. When I feel myself, and you've all done this before, where you're like, oh, I should be doing my reach outs. Oh, I should make a post. I should do a promo. When you hear yourself or feel yourself think or say the word should, why aren't you? Stop in that very moment. Why aren't you? If I should go live, but instead I do laundry and, drive the kids someplace and, if I should do something, but I'm not doing it, why? Because you all know what you need to do. We've talked about this a million times. Being a promoter is not rocket science. Like it's literally the easiest job I have ever had in my life. It's amazing how much money having an easy job gives you. Sandra says, Goofy Watermelon video has nearly 800 views. And again, if that's just a fun little video, and if you guys have seen any of Sandra's video, you get her. Like that's who you get. You get her cute little accent. You get her funny little sayings. You get her little giggle, like you just know who she is right away. She's not pretending to be somebody she's not. And it's when you are more genuine that people are going to respond to that. So when you are looking at like your JOB as a promoter and you're like, okay, I'm going to do my 35 reach outs today and I'm going to do a live this week and I'm going to do a promo for my team. And then you sit down to actually do it during the week and you feel yourself being like, oh, I really should do that live right now. Oh, I'm going to check my report. Whatever it is that you decide to do instead. Stop yourself. And why am I not doing it? What is stopping me? What am I worried about? What bullshit excuse am I living in my head that I need to let go of because I'm just fine? I mean, you guys know when somebody makes an excuse, you see it, you feel it, you know it's an excuse. But yet when we make them to ourselves, we buy in pretty deep to what we have just said, right? Like you're like, oh no, this is why I'm not doing it. It's super important for me to do this load of laundry right now instead of that live I should be doing. Let me tell you, do more lives and you can pay somebody to do your laundry. Like that's not even a joke. Like that's a thing, right? So I just want you to realize that you, even those of you that are crushing goals and ripping through ranks left and right, as great as you're doing, I bet there's even more greatness in you. There's something stopping you. And for those of you who feel stuck, I can guarantee there's something that you're doing stopping you. And until you connect to it, acknowledge it, and take control of it, it's going to continue to stop you. And I know you guys are all on here on these Zooms on Monday nights because you want to build your business. I don't think you get on here just to hear me talk. I mean, if you do, we're going to have to get you a hobby. Like, you are here because you're hoping for some sort of golden nugget and you're hoping for some sort of trick or some sort of word. And here's the thing, there is no such thing. Are there some posts that do better than others? Yes. Are there times when I can't think of what I want to do, so I find somebody that's done something amazing and I copy and paste it? We've talked about this before. I've copied and pasted things that people have gotten like massive responses to, and I get nothing. Again, why? Because it's not genuine. It's not me. It didn't come from me. So I want you guys to think about what it is that's stopping you, and just accept it for what it is. It's an excuse. We all make excuses, right? I could probably be a lot further in this company if I had not been making excuses for the last 2 or 3 years. Sam says, this is Thrive Church, and it's my favorite Zoom of the week. Fills my cup. Thanks, Boo. Lisa says, Kayla Fox said this morning that most people aren't afraid to fail, but they are afraid of what people are going to say about them when they fail. Oh, mic drop. Yes. And you guys, here's my thing. When you fail, people are going to talk crap about you. When you win, even more people are going to talk crap about you. That is just life. I have dealt with more jealous people in my life and killed them with kindness than if I had a quarter for all of that, I would own an island right now. So don't worry about what people think of you or what they're going to say about you, because people are going to say something either way. You could do the most amazing thing in the world and somebody's going to have something crappy to say about it. So don't, unless it's Jesus or your mama, I don't think you should really be too worried about it. Right? That, like, you pick the people who matter to you and then let everyone else fall into the dust. Because you're going to do, like I said in my quote last night, when you decide to start doing what's best for you, it's going to tick people off. People don't like when someone does better than them. But guess what? You get paid. They're not. So why would you listen? Why do you listen to the people in the cheap seats, right? So don't do that for your business either. That's the dog apparently is getting mad at me. So I want to throw this over to Sandra really quick so I don't forget. She said, you thought about the customers that ordered on the weekend promo. I can't unmute you. Can you do that? You're still muted. There you go.
Okay, there you go. It froze for you. You were frozen for just a second. So I know a lot of us ordered on that promo and we're promoters, so we don't have to have it on an auto ship anyway. But I saw a customer order come through with that promo, and correct me if I'm wrong, but all of their products went on an auto ship. Am I correct? Oh,
so probably they did not have to order on auto ship.
Okay.
But to get the best price, they did. Right. So yes, you are right. There are a lot of people that created auto ships yesterday that are currently orders doubled.
Right.
So people, service.
So I had just something I was thinking about when I saw that last night and jotted the name down. Look and see who got that, and it was on an auto ship, because those are the people you're going to need to touch base with before August 1st. Yes. Because otherwise it's going to be a huge order coming out for them. Like if they wanted, 4 and they ordered 2, okay, well, they may not need 2 next month. And so that was something that I thought of, and I was like, oh, I need to make sure that come August the 1st, I'm chatting with this person. Hey, and last thing, you know how whenever they choose their drop-down date is like maybe the 25th of the month. For some reason, before they go in and finalize that last screen, it's changing it back to the 5th of the following month rather than the 25th. Oh, okay. So does that make any sense? Uh-oh, you're frozen.
No. Oh, see, I'm not frozen to me, but you're frozen to me. But anyway, yes, that makes sense. And you guys, this is why when they brought out the auto ship, like the category in your customer list where it says who's getting an auto ship when, I will say this a million times. Go to the My Team button, click My Customer. It'll pull up all your customers. Scroll all the way over to the right. At the very top, it's going to say Next Auto Ship Date. Click that twice, and it will populate them by who's getting an auto ship and when. And that is a list you always want to keep in front of you, and you always want to be refreshing it, because you want to make sure that basic customer service, that you are reaching out to people anywhere from 5 to 3 days before their auto ship date to make sure that maybe they want to add a product, change a flavor, whatever. And also always remember in the back of your mind, you're also being the, hey, red alert, you've got money going to come out of your checking account. I hope you're ready for this. Because somebody may have been thriving for the last 6 months and you have no idea. They may have lost their job this week. They may have had to take a kid to the ER this week. Who knows? right? So it's your job for customer service to keep track of those people. But yes, that's an excellent point. So people have set up a lot of auto ships for a lot of product that they are now getting double of. So they probably won't need their auto ship. The other thing to think about too is people who placed orders and got it doubled, they have extra product on hand. Now is a great time to talk to them about who they might know that would also like to start driving. This is they have extra product that they could sell. You know, like if somebody ordered the 3 steps and just doubled it, like you had to have 160. So if they did the 3 steps with Black Label and now they have 2 months worth for the price of 1, it wouldn't be hard for them to give a couple of friends 2 or 3 days worth, because that's basically free. So now's a good time to talk to people about that. Like, you know, do you have any friends that struggle with the same thing? And again, remember, they're the customer, not the promoter. So offer to do the work for them, offer to talk to the customers. Don't expect them to do it. However, I am going to throw this out really quick while we have a couple minutes. And this is just something that happened. It's been happening over the last couple weeks. So you guys know we have a new business and we clean garbage bins. I have been surprised at how many people, I think it's very gutsy, but they will come and they'll be like, okay, I want you to clean mine, but I think I have a couple girlfriends that would probably want to do it too. Is there any kind of discount? Like, people are just straight up asking, to which I say, we do give bulk discounts to HOAs, not you and your girlfriends. But if you want to get the whole damn neighborhood, yeah, we'll do it. So here's my point. People are looking for that. People are legitimately coming up and asking us, if I refer some people to you, can I get something for free? I don't do it, but LaBelle does. So think about that. Like, I know sometimes we're like, oh, I don't know anybody, or these people don't know anybody. Maybe we should try wording it different. Hey, would you, I have a bulk discount. I'm literally throwing this out just by the seat of my pants. There's nothing smart about this. But maybe you can start saying something. I have a bulk discount. You and your girlfriends. I mean, people literally, I have heard the word bulk discount more in the last couple of weeks because $10 is apparently expensive to clean a garbage can. Hell, I don't know. So think about that. People are asking us, if they get a couple friends together, would we give them a discount? So maybe we should start trying that wording, because refer to does, just refer to friends. Well, that sounds like a job, right? I'm asking you to do something. But hey, I've got a bulk discount. You got a couple girlfriends you think would want to go in on this with you? Again, keep it on that like human level. So anyway, that was just a little nugget I threw out at the end. We are 3 minutes past time. Does anybody need anything? Do we have questions? Anybody want to do a shout out? I mean, I literally could just sit over 30 minutes and shout you guys out for everything that's been happening in the last couple months. Like, COVID hit and people could have buried their heads in the sand, but this team literally rose to the top. Like, it's amazing. And I'm so grateful and thankful and proud of everybody on this team. Okay, no one's raising their hand. Nobody's putting anything in chat. We're all hunky-dory. We good? Okay, I will. Tomorrow for that State of LaBelle call, for you guys that are new, that main line will fill up probably an hour before the actual phone call. So just keep your eyes open in Dream Team or your other team pages for what they call a bridge line, and that's just basically an alternate phone number that you can use. And also, hopefully, somebody might actually Zoom it, like film the call, record the call, but film. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. And if that happens, we'll put a link for that too. So if you guys find bridge numbers, post them in Dream Team tomorrow, please, to help everybody out. And then I cannot encourage you enough to be on that Zoom Wednesday night. Like pen and paper, ready to go, ready to hear it all. And I'm going to assume get an attitude adjustment, because on the days where I feel like I need an attitude adjustment, Courtney is the YouTube channel that I go to, or that's where I go. So anyway, love you all. Love this team. You're freaking amazing. Have a fantastic night, and I will see you later.